Stand by. Oh, what's up, smarty people? It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live in a living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, KeysDAN Show. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Today on the program, interesting facts. Man, you always got some interesting facts, trying to fill up my head with knowledge. You know, have some fodder for the next cocktail party, the next dinner party, the next party that I go to. So, if you'd like the sound of my voice and you want some interesting facts, stick around. Now, on with the show. Today on the program, let's talk about waffles. Waffles. If you're watching the video, you can see there's an interesting picture going on right there next to me. Early Americans held waffle-eating parties called waffle frolics. Brunch has a hold on Americans. After all, who can pass up the opportunity to enjoy a delicious smattering of sweet and savory plates, along with good company, of course? Apparently, Americans of the past couldn't say no either. Either. Gathering to share food and fun at so-called waffle frolics. These waffle-eating get-togethers were most popular during the colonial era, eventually petering out by the mid-20th century. At their peak, they were elaborate, multi-course meals that showcased freshly ironed waffles as the main course. Waffles. Little is recorded about the particulars of the early waffle frolics, but one description by William Livingston, a 21-year-old at Yale student who recounted his party experience in a 1744 letter, describes the soiree as a lavish affair. After a few games, a magnificent supper appeared in grand order and decorum, he wrote, but for my own part, I was not a little grieved that so luxurious a feast could come under the name of waffle frolic, because if this be the case, I must expect but a few waffle frolics for the future. That man liked his waffles. Waffles have been widely eaten throughout Europe since the Middle Ages, sold by street vendors and often consumed on religious holidays. Eventually, they made their way to the American colonies alongside the Pilgrims. And it was in the New World where they were paired with maple syrup for the first time. Culinary lore sometimes suggests it was founding father Thomas Jefferson who ignited the waffle frolic craze in the 1790s upon his return from France after he arrived with 4 waffle irons in his luggage. As President Jefferson reportedly served the treat to Meriwether Lewis at the White House prior to the Lewis and Clark expedition. However, historians at Jefferson's Monticello estate say there's little evidence that the third president heavily influenced colonial waffle culture. It's possible the crispy, grid-marked cakes were destined to become an American favorite all on their own. Hey, the year the first waffle iron was patented in the U.S., 1869. The year waffle cones for ice cream debuted at the World's Fair in St. Louis, 1904. And waffles cooked and served every minute at Waffle House restaurants, 145 waffles every minute. Waffle House. Weight in pounds of the world's largest waffle created in the Netherlands in 2013. 110. A 110-pound waffle. Can you handle it? Oh, my goodness. Now I want some waffles. Waffles. Of course, I'm quoting Teen Titans. Waffles. That's a little bit about waffles and the waffle frolics of the 1700s. That's pretty cool. And I guess they went all the way through the 1800s, but by the mid 20th century, done. Dunzos. I think we should bring back the waffle frolic. Who wants the waffle frolic? Come on, raise your hands. Raise your hands. Me. See you Sunday at brunch. That's it for this edition of KeysDAN Show. If you'd like to tell your story or hear the stories of others, I encourage you to check out my other podcast. It's called What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. That's it for me. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace.